Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. We had a little problem.
A little bit of
the weather.
You know what I'm saying? A little bit of disturbance.
You know what I mean?
But we back.
We back. It's all good. I'm gonna just pick up right where I left off.
Yes, sir.
I think I left off saying my biggest friend, which is growing up, and where I am now. And you know, I just want to touch on that because growing up as a young black man in this country, in this world, just period, it's not easy.
City.
It's not
This
easy.
city.
Definitely the city. It's not easy at all. So it's really just one of those things of us being able to, you know, keep our head in the right places and keep our ears, you know, open for things that, you know, could have potentially messed things up for us and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it was always a thing of staying true to myself because things could have really been very different for me if things transpired the way that they could have. I will get a little personal with you guys. Growing up, it wasn't necessarily the easiest because I dealt with a lot of miscommunication ordeals with a certain parent, and for me, it was always that thing of am I doing something wrong as a person, as a son? And it always rubbed me the wrong way for it. And it all circles back to embracing your ugly because I realized it really wasn't nothing that I was doing necessarily, but I knew I had some things, I guess, about myself that rubbed some people the wrong way, and I embraced that, which brought me to where I am now, and took me to where I am right now, and it's really carried me through a lot of triumphs, like graduating, getting all the awards I've won in certain fields that I've been in. And,
Sports.
You know what I mean? Sports heavily, you know. All of that has just built me up and helped me navigate through this life. And I want to thank these two guys next to me too, because they've definitely been a huge part of my growing up process and helping me be the person that I am today. And that's why I'm really glad about this project, and I'm glad that my growth has led me to this moment that I'm in right now with these two gentlemen next to me. And I'm just hoping that we can only keep going up for it, you know what I mean? Keep going up, and we're gonna keep embracing our ugly as well. You know what I mean? We're always gonna use the things about ourselves that we necessarily don't really like, and we're gonna use that to hopefully help you guys. You know, embrace the things that you don't like about yourself, and that's just really our main goal and our main focus with this channel and this whole idea of ElusiveMindz. You know what I mean? And I just hope we can keep this thing going and see how far we can take it. You know what I mean?
How about that? The sky's the limit.
Yep. And that's really I would have to say would be my biggest triumph in the ugly that it took.
Before I get into my question, which will wrap everything up, I think the first thing about embracing our ugly is recognizing it. Yes. More times than not, the first step to change is accountability.
And that takes a lot.
It takes a lot. Especially, it's hard to look at ourselves sometimes. It's hard to take a look at ourselves and be able to take that constructive criticism and be able to build on it. It's definitely not the easiest thing in the world, because the thing about truth is not favorable. Truth is not gonna always make you feel comfortable. Truth is not something that you always want to hear. Truth is just, it is what it is. What is the steps I can take to make myself better? You know what I'm saying? So, which leads me to my question. You know what I'm saying? Which will more than likely wrap everything up. What is the thing about yourself that you would consider ugly and that you had to accept, and what did you do to change it? If y'all need some time to think, I'll start with me. For me, it was the idea of not always being right. You know what I'm saying? Not always being right. Always like I've always considered myself or wanted to take on the role of leadership and be in a position of authority. But what I had to understand is even leaders are wrong. Even leaders are out of line. And it's hard. It's hard to look at yourself and come to grips with the idea that you're not right about everything. But one thing that I always take heed to that my grandfather always told me, it's not about who's right. It's about what's right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm more in the mind frame of fighting for what's right, even if that means I gotta be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Even if it means I have to compromise, or not so much compromise, even if I gotta play the back seat or necessarily accept things that might not always feel right or feel favorable. If it's in standing with God and it's righteous, that's what it's all about. Not about my personal feelings and how I feel. So I had to get out of the mind frame of always wanting to be right about things and always wanting that gratification of figuring it all out and having it all together, but when that's not really the case. That was my biggest thing for me. And what I'm trying to do to change it is just accepting the idea that, you know, I'm not gonna be right about everything. I'm not gonna, you know, have a perspective that's necessarily correct or something that everybody agrees with. I just gotta be willing to be able to stand in truth and be able to live with that.
I think the thing for me would have to be the understanding that things happen for a reason. Growing up, I used to always, things were happening, I would always just try to pick apart, you know, what led up to it and try to really analyze it and, you know, try to make up a situation in a scenario in my head about why it happened, you know. And it used to mess me up a lot because I've dealt with certain deaths in my life that I used that and it used to mess me up a lot. But once I really got the idea in my mind that things happen for a reason. God wouldn't have put that situation into motion if it wasn't for a certain reason. You know what I mean? So it was definitely that for me, having to understand that, and over time, it's really helped me because I don't really lash out at situations or things that happen to me because I know that there's something that happened for a reason. There's something about that's going to lead to something else greater or maybe not greater, but you know, it's for a reason. You know,
all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord.
Yep, that's a fact. And it was really just about learning that. Honestly, for me, and I'm just glad I got to get that down pat because it's definitely helped me in certain situations to just stay calm and cool and not, you know, lose my temper over certain things. And yeah, that's really just the thing for me. Hoping I can keep working on it because I'm not saying it's 100% perfect for me yet. There's still certain things.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, it's definitely a work in progress. I'm still learning myself. You know what I mean? I'm not just this top of the line guy that's just got everything figured out. I'm still learning just like y'all. You know what I mean? So it's really one of those things where as things keep happening, I get better with it over time. You know? And I think the thing for me would have to be the understanding that things happen for a reason. Growing up, I used to always, things were happening, I would always just try to pick apart, you know, what led up to it and try to really analyze it and, you know, try to make up a situation in a scenario in my head about why it happened, you know. And it used to mess me up a lot because I've dealt with certain deaths in my life that I used that and it used to mess me up a lot. But once I really got the idea in my mind that things happen for a reason. God wouldn't have put that situation into motion if it wasn't for a certain reason. You know what I mean? So it was definitely that for me, having to understand that, and over time, it's really helped me because I don't really lash out at situations or things that happen to me because I know that there's something that happened for a reason. There's something about that's going to lead to something else greater or maybe not greater, but you know, it's for a reason. You know,
all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord.
Yep, that's a fact. And it was really just about learning that. Honestly, for me, and I'm just glad I got to get that down pat because it's definitely helped me in certain situations to just stay calm and cool and not, lose my temper over certain things. And yeah, that's really just a thing for me. Hoping I can keep working on it, because I'm not saying it's 100% perfect for me yet. There's still certain things.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, it's definitely a work in progress. I'm still learning myself. You know what I mean? I'm not just this top of the line guy that's just got everything figured out. I'm still learning just like y'all. You know what I mean? So it's really one of those things where as things keep happening, I get better with it over time. You know? And that's it for me. I just have to learn.
I think, like, for me though, it's really hard to fix it because the foundation has been built up on for years. And I think, like, I struggle with most with, asking for help, like, when needed, like, because, like, I always had in my head, like, if you ask for help, you're kind of weak, like, you're soft, you're not the smartest, you're not the strongest, you're the fastest, you're just like, I didn't want to, look lesser because I asked for help. And, like, I just always was like, well, I got me in this situation, I'm gonna get me out, I'm not gonna ask for help, I got this. And sometimes it worked, but most of the time, like, when I didn't ask for help, it got me in situations that I could have, easily avoided if I asked for help, especially with school and everything like that. That was the main thing that really made me realize, like, when I need help, I don't know. It was just one of those situations where, had I asked for help, just the slightest help, it would have completely changed how everything went down. And I think, I just look at all the people, I idolize, like, with these two in front of me, like, I look up at them and, like, seeing them ask for help when they need it, like, that's just showing me, that it's okay to ask for help. Like, I look at, like, another situation, like, it may be funny, but when you look at LeBron, like, LeBron can't win, he couldn't win by himself. Like, he needs a little bit of help. Like, everybody needs help. Jordan, Cole, where, had I asked for help, just the slightest help, it would have completely changed how everything went down. And I think, I just look at all the people, I idolize, like, with these two in front of me, like, I look up at them and, like, seeing them ask for help when they need it, like, that's just showing me, that it's okay to ask for help. Like, I look at, like, another situation, like, it may be funny, but when you look at LeBron, like, LeBron can't win, he couldn't win by himself. Like, he needs a little bit of help. Like, everybody needs help. Jordan, Kobe, all of the greats needed help. And, like, nobody ever looked, down on them because they needed help. So it was just, why would I do the same to myself?
Right.
I'm no better than nobody, but I'm no worse than nobody. I think that everybody in this world is equal. So it was just, learning that, asking for help is okay. And, that's still, an ongoing battle. Certain situations that, I don't ask for help when I should. But, it's just one day at a time. That's all it's like. It's just a slow process.
Definitely.
Good. Another thing I want to add, and I want us to all chime in on this because I know we all can agree on this, is that it's okay to talk about how you're feeling. You know what I mean? As a man growing up.
Yeah.
It's okay to cry as a man. It's okay to get help as a man, which goes back to what you're saying. You know what I mean? It's not good to just bottle your emotions up, because that makes you a messed up person inside. It messes up your mental. You know what I mean? So I couldn't agree more. I definitely think that's one of the things that you shouldn't bottle up. You know what I mean? You should always just release however you're feeling and not just let it build up inside of you.
Yeah, and I think that was like something that, like growing up, like,
that's something you definitely have to learn.
Like growing up though, I was always, told like, boys don't cry, things that what you crying for and things like that. So it was kind of sort of, like nah, like, you know, showing emotions and things like
we
that.
We were trained to have this mental as to where
like this alpha dog
nothing can hurt us.
Masculine.
Yeah, and that was and it's unrealistic because and back to your point, Key, because the idea of feeling inadequate, being inadequate is a real thing, and that's where the idea of not asking for help comes from, because that was me at a point in time. I don't want to look incompetent, or don't want to look like I don't have it figured out, but I'd rather not have it figured out and learn something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Than to just not have it figured out and keep that same mindset. You know what I'm saying? So it comes with, you know, pouring out our glass of knowledge of what we think we know, and trying to learn something, not being afraid to learn something, not being afraid to step into the light and say, you know what, like, you know, I might have had this figured out. This was my method for how I did this, but if it's another way that might make my journey a little bit easier, what can I do? You know what I'm saying? How can this help me? You know, what realm can I step into that'll make my path a little bit easier, you know, than it was before? So I truly agree with that 1,000%. Definitely understand that.
It really just goes back to like foundation. Like, because I know like a lot of people have these strong foundations and like core beliefs. You know, when you have a core belief, it is really hard to change that core belief.
Yeah, this is true.
Like,
this is true.
Especially because I'm stubborn. I'm very stubborn.
Inadequate, being inadequate is a real thing, and that's where the idea of not asking for help comes from, because that was me at a point in time. I don't want to look incompetent, or don't want to look like I don't have it figured out, but I'd rather not have it figured out and learn something. You know what I'm saying? Than to just not have it figured out and keep that same mindset. You know what I'm saying? So it comes with, you know, pouring out our glass of knowledge of what we think we know, and trying to learn something, not being afraid to learn something, not being afraid to step into the light and say, you know what, like, you know, I might have had this figured out. This was my method for how I did this, but if it's another way that might make my journey a little bit easier, what can I do? You know what I'm saying? How can this help me? You know, what realm can I step into that'll make my path a little bit easier, you know, than it was before? So I truly agree with that 1,000%. Definitely understand that.
It really just goes back to like foundation. Like, because I know like a lot of people have these strong foundations and like core beliefs. You know, when you have a core belief, it is really hard to change that core belief.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Especially because I'm stubborn. I'm very stubborn. I could be wrong, and I could know I'm wrong, and it's going to take a lot to really change my mind. Because, you know, it's more so like that's a core belief. That's what I, you know, stand on. And, you know, like with growing up, you know, not showing the emotion, not crying, things like that, that was like, you know, something that it was kind of like a forfeit around it. And, you know, anything that didn't, you know, support it kind of bounced off. And, you know, it was just being built up over the years. And, you know, like, that foundation can really be hard to break down and rebuild. But I think, you know, it's slowly getting broke down and, like, to a point where it's going to rebuild it. And, you know, it's going to be stronger than ever, because it's going to be, like, I just got a better mindset. Like the way my mind is now from last year, it's completely changed. But on top of that, it's also elevated. And I think, like, just looking back at how I was years ago, you can see the change. And I think that's really all it is. You want to change. You want to be better. You want to elevate. Regardless of how it is, because you could go down and be at rock bottom, and the next thing you know, you're at the top. It just, you know, takes time.
You take one video, one viral quote, one something that's inspirational that might spark a change in everybody, and that's our goal. Do we have anything else to add to the discussion?
Yeah, I think.
What about you, Key Money?
I think, with the wounds I've endured in my life, got it tatted on. Time heals all wounds. And a lot of these wounds I have, went through and just everything, it hurt. God knows it hurt. But, I accepted all of it for what it was. And instead of looking at it as a loss, I look at it as motivation to keep pushing, to do better and things like that. So I think, time definitely got us healing wounds.
200%.
Hey man, I couldn't agree with you more. This is the segment where we wrap everything up. It has been such a pleasure with you guys. Like I said again, this has been something that, if it was recorded, we probably would have 100 videos for you guys already. But this is something that has always, for myself, been a learning, something that's inspirational that might spark a change in everybody, and that's our goal. Do we have anything else to add to the discussion?
Yeah, I think.
What about you, Key Money?
I think, with the wounds I've endured in my life, got it tatted on. Time heals all wounds. And a lot of these wounds I have, went through and just everything, it hurt. God knows it hurt. But, I accepted all of it for what it was. And instead of looking at it as a loss, I look at it as motivation to keep pushing, to do better and things like that. So I think, time definitely got us healing wounds.
200%.
Hey man, I couldn't agree with you more. This is the segment where we wrap everything up. It has been such a pleasure with you guys. Like I said again, this has been something that, if it was recorded, we probably would have 100 videos for you guys already. But this is something that has always, for myself, been a dream. And, I'm definitely confident in the idea that it's been a dream for these two gentlemen sitting next to me. And I think serendipity is just that. Everything happens for a reason. The pieces come together the way they come together for a reason. And we're here and we're needed for a time like this. We want you guys to grow with us, but more than anything, we want you guys to heal with us along this journey. And if there's any questions that you guys have, drop them down below. Episode 2, I'm excited for. It's titled, I'm gonna give you guys a little teaser. It's titled "Paralyzing Your Thoughts." Really think about it. You know what I'm saying? Really think about it. It's titled "Paralyzing Your Thoughts." It's really thought-provoking, and when we get into the conversation, I'm gonna have a question for you guys later on next week that I want everybody to join in on the discussion. But I appreciate you guys taking the time out to watch this video, and hopefully we left you guys with something. But I appreciate the love and support. Like I said, once again, whether it's one person or 1 billion, we appreciate each and everything that you guys have done as far as support, love, and each and everything else. It definitely does go a long way in this project, in this process, and on this journey. We hope that we keep going up and you guys can come up with us. So, to end off the segment, you know what I'm saying, brotherhood.
Clean.
Wow. The most important thing, guys, stay blessed, stay humble. One of the most important things I want you guys to do, though, is stay elusive.
Yes, sir.
You dig? You dig?
Yes.